Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer, and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I have got a message for you, and I'm coming to you super late for me today. I'm testing out because a number of you guys mentioned to me that you never get to catch me live. So I'm testing the strategy out to go a bit later for you guys and see if anybody is able to join me. Definitely want to test that out. And today's message is one that has come to me because you guys know that, you know by now that I'm constantly learning and growing. There is not a moment in the day that ultimately goes by where I'm not filling my mind with some sort of new information or past information that I'm trying to reinforce, something self-development, or I'm having a conversation with somebody about something super interesting. And so I have a lot of content. I think I could practically talk all day about stuff that I find fascinating and interesting. And anyway, I was just hit up the shops and I was coming home and I was listening to, again, you guys who are following me know the podcast and I'm absolutely 100 times addicted to at the moment, which is the Sam Harris Waking Up podcast. And it's episode 56 that I want to talk to you guys about today, where he was interviewing a man by the name of Paul Bloom, who has written a book called Against Empathy, and it's the case for rational compassion. And I thought it was just super fascinating and interesting to talk about the concept of empathy versus compassion. And that's why I ultimately wanted to bring today's message to you guys, which is all about the fact that if you really want to help humanity, swap your empathy for compassion. And that's what I want to discuss with you guys. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. And any of you guys who really want to dive more into this after I've explained some of the concepts that I've been learning about, you can check out the Waking Up with Sam Harris podcast, episode 56. Yes, so what Paul Bloom was talking about is, we've all heard of the concepts of empathy and compassion and, whether you're an empath or whatever, right? And it's always a really fascinating and interesting concept to think about how much we can kind of put ourselves in the shoes of others, feel others' pain, and what's the difference between empathy and compassion. And I find this super interesting. I hope you guys find it interesting as well. But ultimately what Paul Bloom was talking into is the fact that, and he's done a ton of research on this and studies and all sorts of stuff on these two concepts. So I hope that you find this interesting. If you want to go deeper, check out that podcast. But ultimately what he was saying is that empathy is when we really step into the shoes of another person and we feel their pain, so when we feel their pain, we can oftentimes create suffering within ourselves. If that person is feeling pain, we feel it with them, right? That's empathy. We take on that energy or that feeling that they are in. And on the flip side, compassion is kind of like this state of being where I don't have to take on your energy, but hey, I want the best for you, and I'm feeling into what's going on for you, and I have compassion for that, but I'm not taking on that suffering for myself. And I guess one of the reasons why I find this topic super interesting is because ultimately the work that I do, I deal with a lot of people who are going through their challenges, their struggles, and they want to get out of it, right? I'm trying to help them pave a pathway forward of empowerment to get out of the dark and into the light and moving forward in that direction. And so I hear a lot and coach with a lot of beautiful human beings who are absolutely in some dark places, definitely struggling. And the person I used to be was a much more empathetic person than a compassionate one, meaning that I would oftentimes take on all of the burden. This is before I was a coach. Really before I was a coach, I would really take on people's challenges and their struggles and all of that sort of stuff, to the point where it was making me suffer as well. I felt so deeply for them that I was making myself suffer. And we think of that as being a good thing, but if you really want to help anybody and you really want to make a difference in this world, you don't want to magnify the suffering. You want to have compassion and shine a guiding light for people as to move out of that. You want to have understanding and compassion for this beautiful human being who is going through a struggle, and you don't want to take on that energy. So now there's two of you struggling and suffering. You want to be of service. You want to be of help. And the way that you do so is you swap out that empathy and you create an ability to be truly compassionate. And one of the concepts that Paul Bloom talks into as having a significant effect as to how we up level and improve our ability to be compassionate human beings is through loving kindness meditation. So I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that before. I've experienced it a few times. I haven't gone super deep in it. I've literally just done a lot of it through the app that I use with my meditations, which is the Daily Calm. Or I think if you search in the App Store, if you want to download it, it's Calm. And ultimately, every now and then, Tamara Levitt, who who runs those meditations, she brings in a loving kindness meditation. You can even just select, I want to do some loving kindness meditations, and you just do those. And ultimately, they are a way of, you guys are always I'm hearing me talk about up leveling our consciousness and how the evolution of our consciousness is the expansion of what we care about over time. So, that lower level of consciousness is caring about the self and the self only, expanding out to starting to care about people that are in their close circles who can inflict pain or pleasure. And then as we evolve and grow in our spiritual evolution, we expand out what we care about, who we care about, and getting to that place of being able to send loving kindness to people you do not even know even exist, right? So that is kind of what a loving kindness meditation does. It starts with the self, sending love, compassion to the self. It expands out to people that you know. It expands out to people and that you care about, and then it expands out to people that you might be in some sort of conflict with, and then it keeps expanding out to encompassing kind of like the whole world, right? And it's this beautiful, and there's lots of science behind this, so you can go do your own research about this, but it actually raises our vibrational levels. It opens up the heart. It creates this kind of loving energy, this loving kindness for all things that absolutely puts us into a state of compassion. And yeah, so I'm hoping that me talking into this is of value to you guys, because I know that I've heard from a lot of you guys that you struggle with feeling of empathy. How do I get by in this world when I'm so empathetic and I'm always taking on other people's energies and their burdens, and it's, all that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of you guys out there. What I'm saying is that we need to be more consciously aware about the difference, the distinction between what empathy is and what compassion is, for the purposes of actually being of help and service to humanity and definitely the people closest to you. So instead of being empathetic, we need to go on a journey of developing our ability to be truly compassionate. And one of the routes to that is, firstly, you need to have self-awareness in terms of what those differences are and have intention about which path you want to develop. And then ultimately, one of the great strategies is to do loving kindness meditation, test it out, see for yourself, and definitely I would encourage you to check out the work of Paul Bloom, who has written this book, Against Empathy, The Rational Case for Compassion. I think that's what it's called, something like that. I personally haven't read this book yet. I've only just come across his work, but I intend to, and I'm definitely super interested in this because I think that it is one pathway forward in terms of how to contribute at higher levels and definitely grow ourselves as individuals so that we are not putting ourselves in suffering and just magnifying the suffering of the people closest to us, but we're actually helping, supporting through compassion and not taking that on, being a source of strength and empowerment and understanding so that you can help move the needle forward for another person who has been struggling. So Really hope that this has been valuable to you guys. I can't wait to check in with you guys. I'm not sure if this is a good time to jump on. I think I've gotten a lot less people at this time, but I hope that I've caught some of you guys who can't usually catch me live, because I love spreading the love, and I always love, as you guys know, the engagement. So drop any questions or comments, or just say hi so I can say hi back in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And I just want to shout out before I jump in the chat roll, I want to make sure that any of you guys who want to meet me personally, if you've got a challenge right now that you would love a third perspective on, that's why I open up these 15-minute power sessions, and I'd love to meet you. I love getting to connect with you guys from across the globe and get to see who I get to talk to each and every day, and definitely want to help and support you in any way that I can on the individual level. So definitely click on the link above, check out my calendar, select a time that works for you, and I can't wait to meet you. And if you haven't already, make sure that you come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. Wow, it's going off in there. We're creeping up to 4,000 incredible human beings from across the globe who are absolutely pushing the needle forward in their potential, and they want to support, encourage, and challenge you to do the same. So I can't wait to go deeper with you in there. So definitely click on the link, request to join. I'll approve you. I'm going to check in now. So I've got Jody and Darren and Elliot and Aaron and Mia and Elliot and Eric and Linda, awesome, and Justin and Elliot, later works for me. Nice to see you. Awesome. I'm grateful to hear that. I thought that I'd lose like a bunch of my American followers, but obviously not. So thanks, Elliot. And Wyan's here, and much love to you, Justin, and James and Monique and Rayul and Angel and Kara, awesome. And Anantha, haven't seen you in ages. Hope you're awesome as always, and it's good to join back on your live after a long time. Yes, this is awesome. I'm grateful that you're here, Anantha. I've missed you, and yeah, maybe I should be shifting up these times a little bit so I can catch different peeps. And I've got Laval, awesome to see you. Happy birthday for yesterday, I think it was. And Severn's here, awesome. And Elliot, empathy is a feeling, but compassion requires action. Yeah, I love that, you know, and one of the studies that Paul Bloom talked into in terms of his case against empathy is that they did this study with this team of some sports team. I don't know who they were, but they did this study and they inflicted, so they had the whole team there, and they inflicted like an electric shock on one of the players, and they rated like how everybody on the team was feeling the pain of that player on their team. You know, in a negative way, like they could feel the suffering, right? And then they did this test with the same team, but they inflicted pain on somebody who wasn't seen as part of their team at all. And there was some of them who felt the empathy, right? They could feel the pain, but they actually got pleasure from it. Right? So it doesn't always have to have good intent behind feeling empathy. It's just your ability to feel the pain of others, and then you make sense whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, right? And I think definitely, so I think that empathy seems to be a less conscious process, whereas compassion, like you're absolutely saying there, Elliot, requires action, meaning that we need to think about, like, what are we going to do about feeling this, being able to see and understand another person being in pain? What are we going to do about it, which requires conscious intent? So I absolutely agree with that, Elliot. That's awesome. Thank you. And Rim's here, and Anantha from India. I love that. And Zahid and Anthony and Yabez and Mandy's here, and Eric. Thank you, Vanessa. Now I can tell him I'm an empath. Yeah, there you go. You may just be able to do that. But I hope that you are definitely getting today's message and going to think about, yeah, definitely upping our ability to find compassion instead of being just empathetic and magnifying the human emotion, rather than being a leader in our emotion to a more empowered state. So I love that. And Jelma, I'm loving that today's message is making sense to you. And Jamantis, same to you. And Mitchell and Marco and Ram and George and Chris and Caden's here. Awesome. And Severn, Robin Sharma encourages daily morning rituals of gratitude and journaling to keep these ideas and to develop that self-awareness. Beautiful. Yeah, I love the work of Robin Sharma, and I definitely concur that we need to have rituals that absolutely set intention. And I would get you to, add to that little morning ritual with the gratitude and the journaling, a little bit of loving kindness meditation. It's a beautiful process to bring loving kindness to the self, expand it out to others. That is definitely how we can up level our ability to tap into compassion as opposed to just being empathetic. So I love that, Saverne. Thank you. And Tufix here and Elliot. I'm loving that it's making a lot of sense. And you're so welcome, Jelma. And Kaden, hey, I just missed what you went live about. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you catch a recording and get a ton of value from today's message, Kaden. I always say that. I so appreciate you being here. That's awesome. And Sam's here. Awesome. And Saverne, I appreciate the time change. Thank you very much. Oh, awesome. I'm grateful to hear that. If you guys let me know definitely what suits you guys in terms of time, I'm going to mix it up for you. If it's of value, because I absolutely love getting to meet you guys and connect with you guys live, and it definitely energizes me, so I'm being a little bit selfish too. And Sam, thank you for your compliment there, and I'm grateful that I didn't miss you. I know you always join me in the morning, so I'm grateful that you're still able to catch me now. And Luke's here, and Frank, and Casey, and Jamantis. I'm always happy for you to be here, and I'm grateful that you're finding value here. Thank you, Jamantis. And Renee's here, and Sam, always love to listen to you. Well, I always love you being here. And Thomas and Dominique, you're so welcome. And Debbie and GD and Julie's here. Awesome. So I'm hoping today's message is resonating with you guys. You know that I'm absolutely always sharing with you what's on top of mind, what I'm most absolutely excited about or passionate about or revved up about or whatever. And I definitely I've got a couple more comments. Yes, I love it. Kaden, I can't wait to rewatch this. I've missed your live session so much. I always get high value from these. Thank you so much, Kaden. I love hearing that. And I'm so excited that this time slot suits you better. So I will definitely make sure that I'm doing some later ones for you guys. It's pretty good for me too, because I get so much done before I jump on. So I'm usually pretty revved up, as you can tell, probably. So thank you, Kaden, and Robin's here, and Anantha. I appreciate your time to help every one of us, and I couldn't join because of time zone differences. We'll follow your sessions to my best. I appreciate it, and all my gratitude to you. And absolutely right back up at you, Anantha. Thank you so much, and I've definitely missed you, so I'm grateful that if I do some later ones, I might just catch you. That'll be awesome. And Siraj, hello to you. And Eric, yes, Vanessa, now that I know the difference between both as you explained. I love that, Eric. That's so awesome. I love when you guys are picking up little pieces of value from all of this stuff. It absolutely energizes me and makes me feel truly fulfilled. So I'm loving that. And that really was my message for you guys today. I'm super excited. I'm about to head out, and I've got a couple of my American auntie and uncle in beautiful Melbourne, and I can't wait to take them out on the town tonight. So I'm pumped up, and I'm about to head out. So I am absolutely, as always, sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful and amazing and extraordinary, just like you. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. It's been amazing as always. I always appreciate you guys when you drop some comments, drop some questions, and I will let you know if you ever find value in my stuff. The greatest gift that you can ever give to me is to share any of my content. I so appreciate it. It's the best gift that you could give to me. So make sure you do that. If it's been valuable, if any of this stuff is valuable, I'd appreciate that tenfold. I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.